Hola, bonjour, and hello, everybody! You are listening to Worldwide Tea. It is the one and only podcast where every single week we cover everything that's going on in the world of international drag race seasons, franchises, and spin-offs. As always, I am Evan Sawdey from Pop Matters.
I'm Gregory Ellwood from the playlist. Evan, how are you doing today?
Relieved is how I would say after today, because Greg, I don't know how we did it, but it is January of 2026, another blessed year, and we are already done with our first international drag race season. And it's It's interesting, Greg. We have a little. I think we have a week off before we have to kick things off with
We
UK
do.
versus the World season 3, which will be coming up very soon.
And
But
and I must say I apologize to all our YouTube viewers. It is my responsibility. We have recorded and a Meet the Queens. I have not put it up yet because I want to put up images. I've been super busy because Oscars just ended and I have Sundance stuff, but in the next 2 days, it will go up. It will have images. It has all of Evans and ours takes on the Queens in UK versus the World season 3. But if you are antsy and you want to listen now, you can go on Spotify, you can go on Apple Podcasts and listen there. As always, we ask on any of these platforms, please subscribe, like, share. But again, the video for not being up on YouTube is on me, and we this will happen in the next 48 hours. You will see our gorgeous, beautiful faces and the very airbrushed images of all the queens
yes.
from UK versus the World Season 3. Evan, I apologize for interrupting you. Please continue.
And well, as an added treat for those who are bating their breath in anticipation for it, Greg got you tickets to the gun show, so you can see that on the YouTube iteration of the podcast. Do not worry, we're set to good to go. All I was really gonna say, Greg, was that in this house of love, we believe that all drag is
Yes.
valid, and no queen ever deserves online hate. And as American entertainment journalists, we may not get every reference, but we always appreciate corrections. And there are some truly great queens who aren't good at Drag Race, and we love them all the same. It's interesting, Greg, because now we're coming at the end of Canada's Drag Race Season 7, and I think we've said pretty much throughout the whole time, I need to tell me if I'm putting words in your mouth or not, that we both think that this is a great season. This has been a markedly improved season over what we've seen before, over Season 6, or maybe even
Yeah.
or either Season 5 or Season 4. So I think a lot of good things have happened over here, but I think
Yeah.
that this episode, normally the coronation episode is usually kind of boring, like they're just like a lot of formality, a lot of praise over
Yeah.
here. Not the case this time, my friend.
No.
Oh, it is not the case at all. Do you want to kick things off for us?
Yeah, so I was just going to say I don't know if I love the season as much as you. I
Okay.
think I'm a little over Canada. I'm a little over
Okay.
the judging. I'm a little over their tendency to cast these queens that are like grading like on nails on a chalkboard. I feel like every season we have one. And I think they do it on purpose. I think they want they think that it's going to lead to conflict. And I get it. It's good television. Listen, they've won many whatever the equivalent of Canadian Emmys are. I'm not going to
Hmm.
disparage them for that. Get more of them. You will after this season. You also don't have a lot of competition. But I think it's been a really good season. It is absolutely, as we will talk about with this episode, an improvement over what happened last season. Especially when the queen who won last season shows up and really has nothing to say with an asterisk.
I have that
But
written down. She didn't even
but
mention Worldwide Tea once. How dare she?
how
She
dare
swung
she?
right by our halls. My
Uh,
goodness.
but at first, they come in from last week where they have sent unfairly Caramel Combe. And PM is so excited that they won a challenge in the last episode. Evan, I don't know where you've landed on this. I've just decided to not care anymore. But for future reference, maybe they won a full challenge. Maybe they won a quarter of a challenge. Maybe they won a
Hmm.
third of a challenge. How do you feel moving forward? Is Van at 3.5? Are they at 4? Is Ebony at 2.5 or 3? Like, how are you feeling about the statistical judging of all this?
I mean, listen, it's for us. It's not really on us to keep track of this. The show said 3 people won a challenge, but let's also not forget Drag Race UK season 4. There was the Yastonbury challenge in which 6 members of one girl group each
Yes.
won a badge in a single episode,
Mm,
which caused Cheryl to just go off in a rage. But most critically, it's like if you're gonna count 3, I mean, they all won prize money at the end of it, so I
yeah.
guess it's technically 3, but that does really put Van Gogh into the echelon, which she will remind us later on during this episode of the most
Mm,
winningest queen in Drag Race Canada history, which is just. And again, I said
Yeah.
this last week and I'll say it again. It's the thing where it's just like, okay, that's true. You did win every design challenge. There was a lot of competition. I'll be fully honest about that. And
Was
secondly,
there a lot of competition? Was
I
there?
don't think there was. That's the thing. And then on
I don't
top of
know.
that, yeah, like on top of that, it's just like it's kind of like Candy Muse being a top two queen twice. Like it just kind of
Yeah.
feels like you're the most winningest. Like it's the kind of thing where it feels odd. But to be honest, my opinion that I said right now is kind of the crux of this whole episode, which is Van Gogh feeling that no one treats her or her journey or her wins with respect. That's kind of the
Oh boy,
message
is
of this
that an art?
episode.
Yes. I'm going to dance around this as delicately as I can. Oh
Okay.
boy. So anyway, they come in the next morning.
Well,
I
they do
don't
hear voices of
oh
their parents, and
oh
then
that did happen then, right? It did happen at
yeah,
the end. I was for some reason I thought it was the next morning. And
yeah,
they and by the way, that was a fun little effect.
yeah.
It genuinely shocked them. They did not seem to have been given a heads up, pay attention to what's going on. It was like out of the blue because they kept repeating one of them until one
Hmm.
of them heard it and went, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
And they go over to the screen and they see messages from their relatives. I had some quick thoughts on this. First
By
off,
all
by the
means.
way, this is very similar. I feel like to what we just saw in España did this. I
Hmm.
also in either in the second to last episode or in the final episode, they saw messages from, and then their parents came in. Was that in the makeover? I can't remember. It might
That
have
was
been
the
in the
makeover
makeover.
challenge. Because
Yeah.
remember, season four, they jumped into a car with Supreme, and Supreme played their message on the radio for whatever
Yes,
reason.
that's
Yes,
right.
yeah.
Oh boy. I'm so impressed you remember that. But anyway,
So
so
am I.
my takes was Sammy's mom doesn't really speak French that well. So I'm starting
Hmm.
to wonder if she might not be Acadian and maybe her dad was. I sort of
Hmm.
like just throwing it out there. I'm so curious.
Yeah.
Not discrediting Sammy's Acadianness. She has made it her brand. I just am curious, like maybe her dad was Acadian. Ebony's mom is stunning. And she says that she's been trying on all her wigs and outfits while she's been gone, which I thought was super
Which is kind of
cute.
great. I know.
Um, and Van's dad is there, and Van says that her dad has no idea what he's on, like what TV
Right.
show. He's probably thinks it's Canada's Drag Queen, not instead of Drag Race.
Right.
But Van, and you can tell they listen. As someone who has a very rough relationship with my own dad, I get this. If I were ever on Drag Race, I would literally tell them I will walk off set if you put a video of my father pretending to like say like to be part of my moment like on there. It would be like no. So I thought Van was as diplomatic as possible about
Hmm.
this and says it was reflective on how far the relationship has come. And of course, the most obvious. I literally messaged someone after I watched this. Of course, PM has two partners and is in a
Of
throuple.
course.
Of course they
Of
are.
course.
And of course they have Siamese cats. If
Of
you're a cat
course.
owner and know anything about cats, of course they have Siamese cats. The most difficult cat to have. But it was super cute. What did you think of all of these messages, Evan?
Well, first off, this whole segment happened right after the lip sync elimination, so I felt bad because Caramilk's family member recorded one that they just didn't
Oh
air. So
yeah.
that just happened and is lost into the Drag Race ether. So I'm sure these things happen all the time. Production has to prepare, but it's like, well, sorry. But outside of that, I will say I was probably most impressed with how Van navigated their thing with their dad because similarly that would be a hard conversation to have, but was open, honest about it, and yeah, it was a lovely way to address it. Yeah.
And Evan, hey, listen, maybe when Drag Race Experience goes to Toronto, it'll be one of those
Secret
secrets from the
vaults.
vaults
Yeah.
that they
Hmm.
show, like the eliminations for a hot minute to get everyone excited to buy a ticket. Um,
Uh,
in case you were unaware, Drag Race Experience, for those listening in Chicago, is showing videos from the crowned winnings for queens that didn't win, like Lady Camden, which I saw, and no one in the theater thought she won. Like we all knew she'd lost.
yeah.
And also Eureka, which we thought she might have won. It was sort of strange at the moment. And the double crowning that never happened of Adore and Bianca Del Rio with Courtney Act in the background. Anyway, Canada. Evan, so we get a heads up on our guest judges this week, and or our panel of judges. Of course, Tracy Melcher's back. Of course, I always get her name wrong. How do you say it? Saffron, Saren,
Serain Fox.
Doreen Fox. She was here this week, right? Or was it? No, it
No,
was Hollywood Jade.
this was Hollywood Jade.
Oh, it was
Yes.
Hollywood Jade. Guys, it's been 5 days since we watched this. But Rufus Wainwright is, by the way, a great get for a judge, like especially for the finale. I was super impressed they got
Absolutely.
him. They had some great guest judges this season, considering they're a non-union show and they can't get Canadian actors. They got Paul Abdul, they got him, they got who else did they had a music guest that was pretty good. Uh that I'm just blanking on. But anyway, it felt like it's been a good year.
Yeah.
But I will say we do end the season with no official explanation why Brad has not returned. Like
Yeah.
it,
We know.
we
Secretly we
know,
know.
but somehow I think there's bad blood, and I don't know why.
Mhm.
But they come back into the workroom. What happens, Evan? The next morning.
So the next morning, Eboni La'Belle, for whatever reason, as they're gathered around the table, decides to ask the question, well, of the four remaining here, who do you think is the biggest competition? And this leads to PM and PM first saying that, like, I think Ebony is. She's a performer and she's a comedian. Those are my two areas over there. I think she's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely the biggest competition. Then Sammy says that absolutely Ebony is also the biggest competition that she sees right now. And then Ebony says that her biggest competition is Sami Landry at this point, and Van Gogh is beside herself with this information as the most challenged and most challenged winning queen of all time. She's like, "What are you talking about?" And then it devolves into the first of a couple screaming matches that we get this episode, as Van Gogh is upset that she is not viewed and feels discredited for her achievements in this season. Greg, what are your
You,
thoughts on this moment?
Evan, I feel like the two of us should reach out across the digital verse and hold hands and take a deep breath. Deep breath. Because you know who needed to take a deep breath and not let production poke them was Van Gogh. Because Van Gogh, super talented queen, killed it in every design challenge, killed the challenges she won. Not discrediting that in a moment. This is where I have a problem with the villain winning, like or all of this. She is one of the most insecure queens I've ever seen to win a season ever. I don't understand how
Spoiler alert,
Aquaria
by the
on her season, sorry, if
way.
you've gotten
Right.
this far, you know
Yeah.
that Aquaria on her season, who was belittled by Eureka like week after week after week and held it together and never really had a terrible moment, except for in the second episode where the vixen misunderstood what she said and was 21. And Van Gogh, you are 28 years old. You're 29 by now, but 28, or maybe I think you are, maybe not. 28. I just don't, this is just, all of this just rubbed me the wrong way and just made me like, I don't, I get in context, it's heated, it's a competition and you're being poked. And you might even think they're doing it on the other three queens are doing it on purpose. But also,
I
Sammy is not that sort of queen. And I also thought for Sammy to have to say um, to her, Van, what you have to say, why do we have to make this about you? Was basically all the other queens saying, this whole season has been about you and your drama, and we're going to say what we think. And if you are confident in who you are, what you're doing, you might even be nervous. I'm not saying Van Gogh, you can't be nervous. You can't say that the nerves got you during this finale. You need to be secure in yourself. And you need to, like, on national television, global television, not break down like this. This, by the way, is the difference between Candy Muse on season 13 and on All
mhm.
Stars. By the time she got to All Stars, she was so confident in who she was, it didn't matter what happened. She was going to be fine, and she wasn't creating drama for drama. Anyway, so I get it. We're all young. We have issues. Do you? What was your thoughts on this? And I think for a moment you thought I hit a narrative point that you either agreed with or disagreed with.
Well, I think Candy Muse, I think she certainly in All Stars, she was happy to be the drama at various points, but also I think she had learned what her reception to the fandom was very quickly. She talks about a little bit on Slaycation 1, when she
Mm,
showed up on there, like, and a little bit on All Stars 2. She knows she's the most divisive queen that's happened in a hot minute on the US seasons. And for her to be that conscious about it, to be that meta, kind of like, I think kind of diminished how she interacted with the season personally. But with
mm,
that said, the thing with Van Gogh is that the reactions that I've seen to her winning have been multiple. I've seen friends in the UK who are like, finally a villain winning. And to be fair, to be 100% honest and fair, we've never really had a winner that's been this aggressive, this fighty with other people. Like,
Yes, we have.
name names.
Sethless, hands down, just as much.
Yeah. So, okay, our second one on this one here. But it's the truth of the whole, it's the
We
thing
haven't had
where
it. You know what? You're right. We haven't had an English speaking queen on an English language season. Yes,
and
100% agree with
also
it.
Drag Sethless never got the villain edit in that same way. You can disagree with some of the ways that she went through, but Greg and I have thoughts, baby. This
I
is why you come to
disagree.
World Wide
She
Team.
totally
Okay.
did. They could have
Okay.
edited her in all of those confessionals when they were in editing and realized, especially like it would depict her, and they did not care. They kept it all in for the drama.
And that is the same thing that happened here, where it's like, I've had other people message me being like, I really thought that the narrative for the season was going to come back around by the finale, and then I come around to be like, you know what, for all the gruffness and all the rough around the edges and counteractions
Hmm.
with people, Van Gogh actually is super talented, and she's allowed to have this ego and be this aggressive, and I totally get that. I sympathize. She deserves to be a winner. That is not what happened. And that's part of the reasons that I don't have the most sympathy, because all of this drama that we're talking about happened in the finale. The coronation episode, can we talk about the UK7 coronation episode? They sit around a couch, they look at their audition tapes together, like it's all happy, happy
Yeah, yeah,
floof
yeah.
floof. This is some real stuff that is still unresolved at this day. So I've had a lot of people be like, I was holding out to the last minute, and now I'm displeased. Because a lot of people are just like, I here's a truly a winner that I do not like. Like, and that's the thing where you could say that, oh, it doesn't matter about likability, it only matters about talent, and this is a bold new direction for the franchise. You could say all these things right here. But if Van Gogh is going to go around and start complaining about like how I'm treated or how I'm viewed by the fandom, I don't know what to say outside. I mean, listen, I hate quoting RuPaul. I hate quoting RuPaul. Anyone should know that. You gotta blame it on the edit? No. All of this are self-inflicted wounds in terms of how you are treated and how you are perceived, because this is what is being aired and rebroadcast and rewatched multiple times by people all over the
Yeah.
world. It's a very good season. I'm still gonna say that. But this whole drama in the finale definitely pushes it, and it furthers my thing that the cast don't like each other, and that Van Gogh, I think, instigated a lot of that. If I'm being so real, if I'm being so real.
So my I agree with a lot of what you said, and I apologize for us getting ahead of ourselves. But
Mhm.
I do also feel as though that I wouldn't have a problem with her if she was a villain, if this was the villain, and she was it was something that she was cognizant of and was aware that that's what she was, and she is aware of it towards
Mm.
the end that she is giving this in the edit. But there's something about it where it just
She wants to be the villain and wants to be respected and liked by her peers at the exact
yes.
same time,
And
and she can't have
Ru,
it both ways in those instances.
right, and Ru will also say if they're not paying your bills, don't mind them or something around that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
And that's what she needs to think of. But I also feel as though there's a lack of humility. And she
Hmm.
does, we'll get to it in a second, but she there's a lack of humility in her that doesn't come across as being fun or catty. It comes across as being, I'm that bitch and I am insecure and I have to tell you I'm that bitch so you don't forget it. There's a
Hmm.
big difference in just being Sasha Colby and randomly saying, and I know there was like one moment where she was like, well, I have this many wins. Like if she played it cool by the end, I would have been like, fine, go for it. Go forth. You
Right.
won it. But it's this whole like braggart, like that's what the difference between Candy getting to the end of her All-Star season was. Is she wasn't this way. And I and it was also, by the way, this is also was Eureka's problem in season 10, is she also played this card that Van Gogh did, where she deserved it. She needed to win, and it was an insecurity in her in feeling that, remember the big girl wins, like you need to do this. And it felt too forced for me. And I didn't feel Ebony ever did anything that made
To
it
warrant this.
to warrant this.
Like the biggest thing is that, and they talk about it in this moment of just like, I helped you with the design challenge, and I feel like I never got to thank you about it. And then like there's an apology ish that kind of happens later on, but it's just this whole it's I hate, it's kind of Trumpian in a way too, of just like
Yeah,
I have to be right, I have to be the center of attention at all times, and everyone else is wrong. Like it feels so flat, and so that's the kind of thing where again, for the few people that are just like, finally, we have someone who's just an absolute villain that is taking the crown, and this is something
Mhm.
relatively new-ish for the series. I think for a lot of people are just like, really? I mean, it's the kind of thing where it just feels like we're rewarding bullying behavior, and that's just not necessarily the vibe. And this is, again,
And
we're going on a long tangent here,
no,
but
no,
yeah.
it's okay. And I, by the way, this comes up in this moment because at this moment in the episode because Sammy, who by the way has been catty here and there, like, but has
But
in
like
general,
playfully.
but playfully and has never really dug or poked at all. Like, has been
Right.
pretty like in the background for many of that. Literally, just loses. She doesn't lose her temper, but she can't hold it back anymore, and she literally just says to her, "This is not Canada's track record race." And for
Yes.
Sammy to say that should have been a red flag to Van Gogh. Like, whoa, you've gotten Sammy to like come at you on television. Like, that's not her gig. And she's been with her for enough weeks to know this. And
Mhm.
it's just it's that lack of self awareness that just got me. But anyway, the beautiful Tracy Melcher comes in, Evan. And first of all, she is in a beautiful, bright, fun lavender ensemble. I am loving what
Mhm.
she's doing. She informs everyone that this episode is going to be the groundbreaking finale episode of, wait for it, everyone. They're going to write lyrics to an original track and
Wow.
do choreography to it. Never in the history of Drag Race in any franchise have they done this, Evan.
Groundbreaking. Groundbreaking.
But they are going to collab with the legendary Rufus Wainwright, which, by the way, is a huge step up from Leland. Leland, I love you. Congrats on all your success, but Rufus
Drag
is
him.
a legend.
Drag him.
Um,
Yeah.
Also an LA resident. But first up, they're doing a photo shoot with Virgo. Evan, what did you think of this photo shoot?
So first off, friend of the pod. We love you,
Yeah,
Virgo Queen. And for a second there, they're just like, and you get to do a photo shoot with Virgo. I'm like, did she change her name? Like Virgo's like kind of generic, but also an easier mouthful to say than Virgo
yeah,
Queen. And then
the
in the
Virgo
Chiron, and
Queen.
then everything afterwards, it was the Virgo Queen. It's like, oh no, we're still the Virgo Queen.
We're still the
Uh,
Virgo Queen.
she certainly is here this episode. I'll say that. And you know what? It's a bunch of photo shoots, and they are okay. I think that they have some chit chat. Van Gogh knows the Virgo. They go back a little ways. There's some fun moments. I think Sammy has some great moments while twerking. It's fun. I'll forget this pretty easily, but it certainly did happen. What did you think?
I thought Virgo looked great. I thought
Yeah.
she actually looked great in this sort of leather, pleather
Hmm.
like coat outfit. Her mug looked great, looked better than it did on her season. Also, we need to let everyone know this. This only shot, so her crowning was also in January of last year, 3 months later. So full
Hmm.
context, she hasn't been in her reign that long when she's having to like come on here and like talk about all this. I do love that PM was wearing this like Pamela Anderson barbed wire big blonde
Right.
wig,
She
which
just she looked like Bitch Puddin'. She really did
I
with the
know, but
mustache and the
I'd
balding.
never seen her in a wig like
Right.
that on the show, and I was like, I want more of that. That's
Uh-huh.
what I like. I want more gender fucking like that. Like that would be better. I thought Sammy looked a little Beetlejuice esque. I thought it was okay. And I Sammy, it did fine. I thought Van Gogh looked great, Ebony looked great, and C'est la vie.
Yeah.
But then isn't there another shouting match when they come back?
Yes, because they then go to the lyric writing competition,
Mm.
and so they're here sitting there, or they're sitting down writing their lyrics, and then once again this comes out to them kind of shouting about the exact same issue of Van Gogh feeling like they're going through the whole competition and winning 4 challenges and still not getting the credit that she feels that she deserves from her sisters. I'm not sure what kind of response she's expecting at this point too. Are you expecting everyone to praise you at this point here? Are you just like
Mm.
people to be more scared of you? And quite frankly, Sammy and PM have the better idea of like, let's just have Ebony and Van Gogh wear themselves out with this emotional shouting match while we can just, skate on by the finale here. A lovely idea. And also, quick credit, I want to give quick credit to PM for at one point being like, guys, I think that throughout all of this, the one thing that's truly iconic is that we get to choreograph with Hollywood Jade, and then they just keep shouting. I thought it was a noble attempt. All the credit in the world. Miss Congeniality, PM. But yes, it just keeps going on and on. Oh my God.
My
Yeah,
favorite thing about
it's
all their shouting is Ebony never even like says to her, "You didn't save me." Like, or I saved you
Hmm.
and you didn't help me. Like that's the whole crux of
Right.
of what happened. Is for those who don't remember, Ebony saved Van Gogh from ever being in the bottom. She saved her with the golden beaver. The next episode, Ebony needed a little bit of help, not a ton of help. They made it very clear in the edit she didn't need a ton of help. And Van
Hmm.
Gogh did not want to help her in a design challenge. And she had just saved her for potentially going home. And also getting in the bottom, which would have affected her track record.
Yeah.
So I feel like I just thought that was strange that never, maybe it didn't, they cut it out of the edit because it was too true. But yeah, they really went at it. Like I'm hopeful their friendship has survived, and I'm assuming it has. But that felt real. That didn't feel like
Yeah.
we're playing to television. But um, they're working on the songs. Sami Landry says, "Do I think Sami Landry is the next Joni
The next
Mitchell?
Joni
I
Mitchell.
think so.
Incredible.
I
One
love
of
her
my favorite.
references."
Absolutely. And
And Van
then,
Gogh
oh,
Van Gogh picks
go
the
ahead.
song "The Villain" because she
Hmm.
says she's owning it, and I
Hmm.
literally wrote in all caps, "Yes, she is. She is owning
Hmm.
it."
Hmm.
Um, but then I believe that it's either after the recording or maybe it's the next morning. You'd have to correct me. Um, Van Gogh finally apologized. This is to Ebony, saying that she doesn't think people see her, which I don't understand this. A plus B does not always equal C, and she is doing this math in her head that people don't see her and therefore they don't respect her. Um, uh, and what I wrote was, you can support someone else and still think that the other person did great. She just can't get that through her head. And I thought she still, by the way, at the end of this conversation, did not like get that part. But did you have anything else from her apology to Ebony?
Two things real quick. Number one, we briefly skipped over the not very
Oh,
interesting
sorry.
choreography part. And I only
Oh,
want to
yeah, it
highlight
was
that
okay.
Hollywood Jade seems to be wearing the idea of a sweater. It is slashed in all the places, and it is a fascinating thing to behold, let me tell you. But the other thing about this is that this apology-ish conversation between Ebony
Mm.
and Van Gogh is insane because it is so fast. It happens in the space of like less than 45 seconds. It is quick over, oh my God, I mean to apologize, sisters for life, and it just kind of goes on. And as a viewer, oh, I did not get the empathy that I needed in that moment to try and make a decision of like, nope, this is absolutely why I should go through. It felt like a rush job. But also, as we know, the Canada editors, and bless their hearts, are really shady. They really, really are. And for the course of this episode, guess what? They know that there is going to be an Untucked featuring the other girls, and there is more drama to come. So it's the thing where, and I know, Van Gogh, in case you're reading this or whatever, hi, nice to see you. But secondly, it's the kind of thing where you see the episode too, and it's the kind of thing where, guess what? This is one of the things where this is the edit that was given. This is what was made final cut and was shipped out and broadcast. So it's like anything that happened, hey, there's the things that you said directly, but I'm sure there's a lot of things that, hey, if you watch the whole conversation, the stuff that ended up on the cutting room
Yeah,
floor, that's one thing, but this is what we're seeing. So when it
right.
comes to this apology, which I'm so sorry feels really forced between you and Ebony, I just don't buy it, and it just doesn't feel natural or real in any way sense. So that's
So
like as yeah.
no, I was just gonna say I have two thoughts on that. One is, my question to you is, do you think production told her to do it? That this is your only time to do it?
I think
Did you
so.
just mouth? I think. Okay, you said
I
I
think
think so.
so. It's the thing where just because like normally there's the queens coming into the workroom during coronation day. Nope, coronation day, jump cut. They're at the makeup mirrors. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, so we don't get any build up or context, and it's just the start of a conversation. But yes,
I will say, I do think the Queens gave them way more material they ever expected this episode, which is part of the problem because when we were about to get to the runways of the returning Queens, and they are so fast, it's the fastest I've ever seen on any Canada episode. There was so much drama and then drama that happened in the workroom that they were clearly not expecting. That they unlike say España, or France, which will go over
which
it's
luxuriates.
55
Yeah,
minutes, it'll go to hour and 10 minutes. This is also showing on the BBC, showing on Wow, and they have to stick to this time period. They have to stick to the formula. So I do feel the editors did the best they could. So it is possible that conversation was much longer. I do feel like they made sure they got it in and took the best that they could to move forward. But Van Gogh, if it was genuine and you'd always planned it, bless. I believe your heart and that she's your friend and you would want it to have done it anyway.
Yeah.
But
If you want,
Evan,
by the yes.
go ahead. Sorry.
If you want to know how fast these runways are edited, imagine season 15 when season 15 was airing and they were trying to fit in that Real Friends of WeHo or whatever the F
Oh
that show
yeah,
was, and there was
it was
lightning.
like that.
That's how fast it felt. That's the only equivalent I can make. But yes, we're on the main stage,
We're on the
Greg.
main stage, and listen, we see our guest judges, Tracy Melcher. Girl, you look fantastic in this red ensemble. You have killed it. We're giving you an OVA for the season. OVA to Tracy, if you're listening. You killed it this
Sure.
season. You got a lot to live up to next year. In your 2 seasons, you might be shooting. Um, uh, Listen, I love Hollywood Jade's top. This blonde wig is not it. Like, girl, what is going on in the Great White North? That,
Carly Rae Jadson, let me tell you.
boy. Rufus is having fun, and Brooke looks great in deep purple. Classy
Love it.
outfit, looks
Love it.
beautiful, like no
Hair is
complaints.
amazing. Yeah.
So before we have the returning queens, we have the performances. And Evan, I'm gonna let you take the baton with this. What did you think of PM's performance to his
Well,
song,
first off,
or their song?
Greg, we got four queens. We have four queens doing an original song to the exact same musical backing track. So a
Yes.
little, I have to rush it through a little bit, but you know what? They're doing it. They're doing
They're
it.
doing it.
And bottoms up by PM. I listen. I've shown that I have a PM bias pretty much throughout this whole season. Too. I think I like her. I think she's talented. Whatever. And I'll be fully honest with you, Greg. This song, this performance was my favorite of the four. I'm not gonna lie to you. I
Oh,
really felt like she had some of the most inventive choreography and backup dancers who could keep up with her. And it also just felt like there was levels, there was color to the way she was singing. Like it just felt like maybe the most complete package out of everything. So I really, really enjoyed what she did. What did you think?
not my favorite of the four,
Okay.
but I hated that outfit. I just hate that outfit so much
Yeah.
that PM was wearing. And PM,
That I could give you.
I would
I'm
tell
fine
that
with.
to your
Yeah.
face. Burn that outfit. I hate it so
Hmm.
much. But I'll say she sings pretty well. When she
Yeah.
needed to sing, she actually sang. It didn't sound that auto-tuned. It was fine. Up next was Van Gogh. What did you think of Van Gogh? Is the performance to the villain?
There's again, much as how I said that I'm a PM stan this whole season over here, I don't want to come across as a Van Gogh hater.
Hmm.
However, this is the one that had the most "Come on, Gru, Mama, snatch the crown" kind of lyrics. Like she was talking about how she is the villain, how she has no apologies, and she can sew all day and whatever. But there was just more than a few crown it kind of references, and I'm just like, we are just walking in like drag race, paint by numbers lyric territory over here. It didn't have the oomph that I certainly needed in this final moment. How about you?
My biggest criticism of it was the rap was off. It wasn't on
Yeah,
beat at all, and that was a note she'd been given, like by
during
you,
the
one of the
recording.
yeah, during the recording,
Yeah,
and they didn't fix. She didn't fix it, and she didn't. She was also stubborn about not fixing it, thinking it was still good.
yeah.
Um, and so that sort of, I wouldn't have mind the lyrics. I just wanted it to flow right. I sort of liked the outfit, but the outfit was good.
Yeah.
And she just loves that handstand into whatever that flip is. And I'm gonna be
Yep.
really honest, I've seen it too many times, and I'm gonna see it one more time. It's a nice move. It's a nice move, but it becomes the more you see it, it becomes less impressive, and it seems more choreographed. And it sort of,
Hey,
yeah,
hey, Greg, listen, she has an incredible bag of trick.
yeah,
Anyway,
she
let's move
does. It's her one trick.
on.
Up next was Sami Landry in, I think it was just called Hey.
Hey,
Uh,
Sami Landry is what it's
Hey, Sami
called. So
Landry.
yeah,
I'm just gonna say really
it's so
quickly,
stupid.
it. I'm just gonna say really quickly that it wasn't groundbreaking, but it made me smile.
It did. It was really fun. Like it's so stupid, but it's like I was expecting stupid from her. She really had like actual lyrics and had fun
Yeah,
choreography, and I was like impressed. Like I
yeah.
was like, I think she's kind of bringing it. Like I thought it was the second best of the night. Husband disagrees, but like I was like, okay, this is like not bad. I was yeah,
I thought it was the second best of the night, but I'm not a PM stan, so that's part of the
yeah.
problem. Um, Last but certainly not least was Rags to Riches by Ebony, and this was the best singing, hands down, out of all of
Oh,
them, I thought.
unquestionably,
And I
unquestionably.
thought the best rap, and I actually thought it should have counted as a fourth win. That's my personal opinion. What did you think of Ebony's performance to Rise to Riches?
It was really fun. And I love the fact that it was more autobiographical because I think that's the thing when it comes to these things. Do you want to show off how witty you are? Do you want to show off how cunty you are? And here it was a little bit more, let me give you a little bit more about my background and story. And I always feel like
Mhm.
narrative is such a powerful thing. And I think, to be fair, if Van Gogh had embraced some of that inner turmoil of that narrative a little bit more, I think there would be a little bit more of a sympathetic side that we would get to see. And I think that would be
Yeah.
helpful. So Ebony did the job. I learned more about her because of this performance, and it felt better
Mm,
because of it. Yeah.
that's awesome. Um, Now it's the unfortunate. I wish we could have an extended edit of this because I thought it just went by so fast.
Hmm.
But the returning queens come in their finale in quotes look because I'm not sure all of these were really the finale looks they were planning on.
No, no.
Paolo Perfeccion comes out and she is pretty in pink.
Yes, she
The
is.
teeth is wild. I don't understand that choice.
She's a baby
Um,
doll.
she's a baby, but she looks gorgeous. I thought she
Yeah,
looked. I thought we saw it very quickly. I'm sure the more we looked at it, we might criticize it more. But I thought it was beautiful. What did you think?
absolutely the same. It was smart. It was cute. It was not finale, but it was a very good look
Yeah.
from her, certainly.
Star Doll was next. I can't. I think it was sort of a Filipino inspired look. Like, am I
So
correct?
yes, she had this giant headpiece that was like kind of
Yes.
like a sun thing with had a lot of dangling elements from it there, and it was kind of like a white gold like wraparound sheet that went out into a kind of a mermaid plumage. And so it had a lot of lovely elements over there. It was the best thing she's worn all season, certainly. It was solid. It was very good.
I thought it was really good. We are getting into a an era where a lot of the Filipino queens or Asian queens in other countries are trying to do looks similar to what's been done on any of the Filipino seasons, and it
Hmm.
doesn't always measure up. And I would almost, if you, I would make the unsolicited advice. If you are a Asian queen who's going on a non-Asian season, don't always feel you have to take that dip into the bag. Like, you don't, you can show your culture in other ways. I would try to be more creative with it than going traditional because I feel like the judges have seen it so much. Anyway, that's my unsolicited advice.
Yeah.
Hazel, love the hair. Will never remember the rest of the look. The rest of the look was so basic, but the hair was great.
The hair was good, but then at the very end of the sleeves, the wrist of her sleeves kind of had like a little spiral pattern that kind of went
Oh,
down. So it had that and the hair were the two best parts of it. The rest of it, I agree, was all things that we'd seen before. But there was ideas working in place, so I'll give her credit for that. It was like some solid stuff still in
do you
play.
think that was her finale look?
No,
I
her
think it was for
coronation
something else.
eleganza. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was for something else.
Yeah.
Oh boy, your favorite phrase is about to come up. Dulce comes out, and what is she wearing? She is wearing
Red
no. What is she wearing? She's wearing something from
Mexico. What are you?
no.
What?
She's
Oh,
wearing
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Drag closet. My sincere
yes.
apologies. Yes, I was for also if anyone else is listening and hasn't seen the episode, I think those three words kind of phrases gave you everything you needed to know.
Yeah.
Oh my lord, Mama. She
Uh,
she came ready to not win. Let me tell you, it
it's
was
giving. I never thought I'd make it to the finale, like in a million
this
years.
was for something else. This
Yeah,
is brunch. This is yeah. This is entrance room, if even. Yeah.
yeah. Velma Jones is our next returning queen. I like the concept of it, but so it's basically two different elements with a sort of oh my gosh, what's that print that Bob the drag queen always wore, like
Oh,
the
Houndstooth.
houndstooth, like a houndstooth sort of separator mix, like sort of flare up in the
Yeah.
middle. But my big problem with it was so the burgundy skirt doesn't go with the top at all. Like they totally clash and don't even clash in
Right.
a good way. So it felt like a weird juxtaposition look that there was a wrong choice, or maybe they thought it looked better and didn't realize what it looked like under lights. What did you think?
Like it felt like Cruella de Vil was taking
Yeah.
off a Dalmatian coat to show off a pink dress for a party, except then in her updo wig she had two, three crowns kind of embedded in there as well. So like a lot of ideas in play. They didn't always work together, but I at least admire that she's trying something
Okay.
new for the most part. So for whatever reason, it's a pass for me.
So the queen I think was most screwed over this season. Maya Fox is up next, and I hope she's on All Stars. Whatever this is, it's wearing her. She's not wearing it. It's this monstrosity. It's too big. The proportions are too all over the place. She looks pretty, but it
Yeah.
is wearing her. She is not wearing it.
It is this large red plumage thing that almost envelops her. Her mug, I would argue, doesn't live up to the occasion of it. For something
Yes,
this amazing and
that's
flamboyant,
her
can we get a
problem. Yep,
necklace? Can we get some more color or just a little something, a little sparkle anywhere to kind of like bring it up to there? But I fully agree with that critique. It is a lovely outfit. I wish that she had put some effort into selling it. So yeah.
agreed. Sultina Shaker is our next returning queen. She is wearing it's almost like she's an angel. I think there were
Hmm.
wings, right?
A wounded
And
angel,
a wounded
yes.
angel with arrows in her hearts, in her legs, in her bodies. It is incredibly well made. It's super impressive. I do believe this was her coronation look because it's
I
about
agree.
her storyline. And I assume it was inspired by her accident and her recovery. I just, it's funny. I've gone back and forth on this, and you've been very consistent on this point. After this and her last appearance, now I am unsure of what her aesthetic is. I don't 100% know what it is. I know that's been one of your big criticisms. But I love the mug. I thought the mug was
Hmm.
great. She always has her mug is stamped for who she is. I don't understand her clothing and ensemble and design aesthetic. What do you think?
Yeah. I fully agree. It's the thing where it again, the whole theme of her is that, she's very TikTok famous. She has the billion different followers over there. She has a lot of expensive looks, and sometimes I still can't get her worldview out of it. This is like now in a correlation of themes where there's a lot of injury, there's a lot of scratching, there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of marks on her.
Mm,
And so if she's taking the personal tragedy that she suffered and finding a way to put that into her drag, that's interesting. I just wish there was a better consistency across her package because I just like you get moments and you get bursts of it right here, and then also sometimes she's a rocker chick. Like it's just like there's close to an aesthetic there, but I think she will get better at it. And just as a quick side note, later in the workroom, she once again says, "Velma, you've broken down doors and whatnot." And for one of those things, it's like, okay, I love that you have been sticking up for Velma Jones at this whole time. Can you let Velma Jones stick up for herself? Because this is
Oh, let's
now
get
the
to that
second.
later. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's I
yeah,
only
yeah,
want to say that. I only want to say that. Put that out there. Exactly. Just yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because that workroom, boy, there's so much. Uh, Up next was Caramel, and here's the thing: pretty look. Any judge on any of the seasons, if they were being critiqued for this look, she needs padding on her hips.
Yeah.
It is there, or there needed to be some flare out in the design. It just like has this beautiful top and then goes boom, like
Hmm.
straight down. I don't. Maybe she just was like, screw it. I'm gonna put not putting in padding because I don't care because like I'm not winning
Right.
anything. But the world's gonna see this, and I felt bad because I feel like if she just done hip pads, it would have been like everyone would have reposted the. I don't know. That's my take. What did you think?
I think that every once in a while there comes a queen who just knows their skin tone and what color will work with it. And this effing
Yeah.
royal blue with her is just so effing amazing. I think that she looks fantastic. I do agree. There could have been just a little bit more volume to give it a little bit more pump. Overall, excellent design, excellent look, and most critically, an excellent color choice. A sincere apologies to Jane Don't, who said she's a color choice master from season 18. That's all I'll say. But yes,
Yeah.
I thought Cara Milk looked absolutely fantastic overall.
Um. Time for our top four, and
Here we go.
your they. PM is up. What did you think of this Rat King inspired look, Evan?
I gotta be honest, Greg. I gotta be
You
honest.
loved
I
it.
thought it was fantastic. I really did. Well, the weird thing about it is because, like, this could very easily go costumey. It could very easily go, yes, this is just something for the background of the Nutcracker Ballet. And I think that is a very, you could throw that as a criticism. It still felt drag in a way. And it's one of those things where I think because it's so ornate, because it's so decked out in so many details, from the giant to the tail to the giant, like, gold encrusted Rat King thing, like, all of it just felt correct. And also the like I don't know, just so much of it thought went into it. It felt royal, it felt like a proper coronation look, so that's kind of why I fucked with it. What did you think?
I thought it looked great, but I thought, especially for the finale and for the top for Coronation Eleganza,
Yeah.
it was too costuming.
Mm.
You know what it would have been great for? This week's season 18
Oh my
animal
God.
attraction runway. It would have been perfect.
Girl.
It wouldn't have
Girl.
been top
Deer?
four.
That's your deer? I'm sorry. Anyway,
Yeah.
yes,
It wouldn't have
absolutely.
been top four because that was one of the best regular season runways in a long time on Drag Race.
Mm.
But it looks great. My girl Eboni, the second
Hmm.
she came around the corner, I went, oh no. This is very pretty. It is way too plain for a finale and for a coronation eleganza. I you know, every queen has different budget issues. They have different things they can afford. She is doing her best to sell it. I didn't think it met the mark for what was needed for the finale. What did you think?
I thought the outfit itself, with the way that it was very simple, like straight down dress with this giant black kind of, fur coat overlay. Like, I thought it was a well executed idea. I think the biggest thing is that, again, much as we were talking about with Caramel, skin tone, she's basically almost going with almost a nude tone to match her
Mm-hmm.
skin almost. And the thing is, in terms of that, it's effective. The problem with that is that in terms of impact, it doesn't read as like aggrandizing or royal or whatnot. It
Mm-mm.
just kind of is like, this is solid. I know this is beautiful. I don't have that oomph that's happening there. The thing that's really popping through are all the jewels that are happening all around the bodice on the front. I needed that punch. I needed something else to give it there. It's understated, which for a finale look is a bold choice, but it was missing that wow factor that I think we've been used to or trained to from so many episodes and seasons of Drag Race.
This is a specific reference. It is giving woman going to the Emmy Awards. Like it's not Oscars, it's not Grammys, it's red carpet on the Emmys,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah.
fine. It was classy. I'm not just for what this was, I needed more. Talking about saving the best for last, Sami Landry in this freaking awesome look. This was the best thing I think she's done the entire season. She saved the best for last. It's this mix of punk and aughts party girl with this massive blonde wig with pink stripes up the top, and then this bodice made of like um,
Leopard print
belts
and
and
belts.
leopard
Yeah.
print, and then this fantastic fluming out, very actually 80s actually, like sort of like tulle like skirt. I loved this. I thought this was
Hmm.
great, and it showed, if they bring her back, wink, wink,
Wink.
what else she could do on a potential all-star season. What did you think?
Like low key, it's terrible, but it's amazing at the
It is
same
not
time. Like low
terrible.
key, like it is exactly her aesthetic to a T. Like it is so clashy, it is insane. It is the kind of thing where when you're a queen this quirky, I do think that you keep doing enough runways in this insane vein that you can almost get a pass of like it's clashy, clashy, it's goofy,
Yeah.
goofy. So like you could maybe get away. Like the transitions on the pieces don't really work, but it kind of doesn't matter because it's her. So I put a qualified asterisk on it of just like I think it's fantastic. I do agree it's the best thing that she's brought to the runway outside of the crazy lips look that she had for that one episode.
That's
But
true.
overall, like still very good. Kind of insane. With any other queen attempted it, they would be read to filth. But it's Sami Landry, so she gets away with it due to the clown.
Oh, I think a bunch of queens could pull this off. I
Okay,
don't know if I think a bunch of in a bunch of different uh
franchises.
yeah, one of Kyron Thrax could wear this and pull this off.
Oh
Bones
yes,
could pull
yeah.
this off. Um
I think they both do it a little bit more refined. I guess that's kind of what I'm saying. But that's just yeah.
Ellipse on France could pull this off. Her mug would be different, but she could pull this off.
And then she
Uh
would wear, and we know it was a Sami Landry reference because we know Ellipse loves ripping off other queens. It's one of her all-time hallmarks. Love you so much, Ellipse.
Not me. Love you, Ellipse. Love
Yeah.
you. Um uh and our remaining top four finalists, Van Gogh comes out in this beautifully made Van Gogh inspired gown. Um I thought I don't want to sound ambivalent to it because it wasn't that I was ambivalent. I thought it was beautiful. We have seen other Van Gogh inspired looks on the runway. It went with her name, her and sort of what she'd
Hmm.
been sort of showing overall. I think what I appreciated most about what she did, she sort of toned down the white a little bit on her face.
Yes.
And I thought that was very smart. I actually saw some old drag photos of her before she went with the Danny Beard face, and
Hmm.
I liked that better. I feel
Hmm.
like she had a great mug before she went with this white face design, and it works for marketing. It's worked for her. It got her all the way through Drag Race, Canada's Drag Race finale and
Hmm.
everything. But I love her in a regular, like, pale nude look. What did you think of all this?
Two things. Number one, whatever the black dress thing that she wore at the start that she tore away, that was so unnecessary. That felt like
Agreed.
the All Stars two in one way when all of a sudden Alaska's like, I'm in trash bags, but no, wait, I'm actually a little pound cake. Like it really felt like, oh, this is cheap, but like Alaska could pull it off because she's Alaska. This one, But like the only other thing is like, and I feel the exact same way, Greg. Like I kind of feel bad because like this is a very, very good look. It's extremely pretty. She does a very good
Yeah.
job. I just can't not think of Gottmik doing the Edwin Munch Scream outfit that was
Yeah.
almost the exact same thing, except it was like almost bodysuity. That was just rhinestone and heavy and incredible from All Stars 9. And just like it was incredible and it was executed better than this. So unfortunately, by pure classic painting, bedazzled design comparison, like I can't not think of it. It's still by its own, still a very good, solid outfit. Not like the most amazing thing I've seen, but very solid.
By the way, until you brought that up, I totally forgotten about that look. And again, it's another queen with a white mug. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Also, is Canada just going to start crowning people with V's at the start of their names? Is that what's going to happen now?
Oh, three in a oh wow, three in
Three
a
in a
row.
row. Three in a row.
Listen, if you're going on Drag Race Canada, change your name to something with a V.
I'm just
Um,
saying. They love it.
but listen, the runway happens and the queens all go back into the workroom to chill. We don't even get any response. Like they just do the work, they just do the runway and then they all just go back and
Hmm.
relax. Um, we could probably do an entire hour long episode about this
Girl.
conversation. We won't because no one drives
We're
that long.
respectful to our audience and
We're
our
yeah,
audience's time as well. Yes.
I'm just gonna start off the first thing that happened is they talked to Paolo. And by the way, they all genuinely love Paolo. You can tell that if
Right.
there's anything all these queens in the room agree on, they love Paolo and they wish she'd stayed longer. And Paolo says she got sent home on a full Virgo moon and she's put that universe into Eboni, who is also another Virgo. Did I miss anything with that reference?
No, outside of the fact that she says that when she hears that there's a blackout that happened after her elimination, she's like, I know, I made that happen due to my deal with the universe that she made. So, just how could you not love this absolute wackadoo? This, should have been Miss Congeniality winner. That's all I could say.
So,
First up.
first up, Star gets into a conversation with Van that she has clearly been holding
Hmm.
onto the entire weeks that since she's been eliminated, where she blames Van for not saving her and that and ending her run on Drag Race. Which, to be honest, Star still lost the lip sync, but she felt she deserved to be safe that week. I think we thought she might have deserved to be safe that week. I have to go back and look, but we might have.
So
Um,
that was the Snatch Game or Design Challenge episode in which
and
there
who
was
did
two bottom
Vance?
twos.
Oh yeah,
And then the winner of each challenge got to save one. So I think it was Maya who saved Velma from Caramilk, who was in the bottom, and then Van saved PM against Star, who ended up being in the bottom that week. It was a one or two
oh
choice, not a queen of three. Right.
yes. Um, so yeah, Star was really upset. Any
Hmm.
thoughts on Star's legal
She
points?
so this is I feel like there's a part of me that almost kind of feels bad that I feel like we've been bashing Van Goth a lot on here. Star at this point feels like I feel like I was backstabbed in that moment, and Van Goth is like, thank you for saying that. I was kind of anticipating this. Ultimately, all I did was just not put you in the bottom two. It's kind of left to your own devices on there, and it's the kind of thing where it's like, I mean, credit where credit's due.
I
Like
mean,
it's the
that's not factually incorrect. Like it is
right.
true. Um,
Like, yes, there was the whole I'm gonna have an alliance with everyone thing, and she could feel that way certainly there. But at the end of the day, like you could be like, you did save me from the bottom. It's like, okay, but are you first performer or queen that can get out of the bottom? Like there's that it's that kind of thing where like, sorry, like I understand you could feel shady out there. I'm Team Van Goth on this one here. Like, I'm sorry that I didn't save you from the bottom. You should have survived on your own devices, period. That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
luckily for Van Gogh, though, there's two other queens that are quite unhappy with each
Uh-huh.
other. And Hazel and Dulce get into a
Oh boy.
shouting match. And all I'm
Oh
going to
boy.
say is Ebony described it perfectly, saying the early boots are fighting. Uh, and
Okay, I need to correct you real quick, Greg. The quote I had to write it down because it
oh
is
please.
genuinely iconic. The early boots are fighting about things I've already forgotten about, and honestly, like I am so sorry. That's my winner right there, baby. That is my winner right there. Holy shit.
They are mad at each other. And what was the crux of this again? Do you remember?
So they're bad at Ebony because in this episode, this was the talk show episode thing,
Right.
where the bottom three was Hazel, PM, and Dulce, and then Ebony ultimately saved Dulce, forcing Hazel and PM to lip sync against Dumb Blonde by Nicki Minaj, one of the best lip syncs of the season. Sorry, Avril Lavigne featuring Nicki Minaj. My apologies. But that's the thing where all of a sudden they're talking about like I felt like I should have been in consideration. Hazel's upset with Ebony, and then Dulce is basically like, yeah, it's like, she feels like she was discounted because two performer queens were in the bottom, and Dulce's like, well, you didn't see me perform. I feel like you're always discounting me. Fight, fight, fight. It's like, I lasted longer than you. Yeah, you did by one episode. Congratulations. And at one point, someone says, I hope you enjoy your screen time because you're not going to get much more of it. Like, it is just rare claws out, cats and dogs. Holy crap. It is intense. It is so intense. It is wild, even.
And there's a massive irony considering one of them gets awarded something later on that we're
Really.
not expecting. Um,
Yeah.
but then, shockingly, unless I forgot anything, oh no, the moment with Saltina Shaker wants to make sure that Velma gets a moment. But does Velma say anything? I don't even know. Does Velma? What happened?
Velma, I think Velma says some generic pablum about like being honored or whatnot here, but again, it's just kind of odd that for the back half of her season, Saltita just like is constantly at Velma Jones's side and advocating for Velma Jones. It's the kind of thing where you can advocate for someone, but at some point they have to be the voice for themselves too, and it's
Hmm.
just the kind of thing where it just I don't know. I feel bad saying this, but it does feel like a little bit self-aggrandizing or just being like, look at what a nice person I am to this disenfranchised queen who is also a drag king and is also older than me and also produces all these shows with Giselle Lullaby. Like it just kind of felt performative in a way that was just kind of I don't know. It's I appreciate the attempt and effort and maybe the thought behind it, but Velma should be able to stand up for herself in some instances. I don't know. That's kind of how I felt about
I'm
that
gonna
whole thing.
take I'm gonna take a more optimistic view
Okay.
and think that Saltina, who, by the way, has produced her own podcast that's very successful
Hmm.
for a number of years before she was ever on the show, has been paying attention to production while she was there. She was there past Velma and
Hmm.
potentially realized that maybe Velma never got the spotlight moment she really needed that you might have expected. Like, remember, she only got to do Drag King once. So it's possible
Right.
future runways were going to allow her to do that or future challenges.
Hmm.
And I'm going to optimistically say that I think Sultina was actually trying to do whatever she could to make sure that Belma didn't get lost in all the arguments and drama, and that we did not forget what a historic moment this was. Because I actually have to say, in hindsight, it did not, and maybe that's a good thing. It did not have the like impact like that I thought it might, as to when Victoria
Hmm.
was on UK or even like Pandora Knox winning Germany. Like I just it was a little more diminished than I thought, considering what she did with some of her early runways. Do you
Hmm.
agree or disagree?
I could see that. I mean, again, one of the most iconic runways that we got out of Canada versus the World Season 1 is when Victoria Scone went full
Yeah.
Fabio. And that was an incredible moment. She was in the top that week. It was iconic. Again, Victoria Scone, a queen who deserves a lot more than what she's been getting. I'll say that much. I think she's a,
Looking
incredible.
snatched now, by the way. She looks incredible.
And just saying, just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of see that too. But also, I think Velma was somewhat a victim of her own
Yes.
willingness to be on the show too, because for her to fight to be and say as many things in English as she did, and so often, I think was definitely the thing that hindered her, as we saw in her Snatch game, where all of her answers were almost inconsequential to the prompts that happened.
Mm.
So like, there's that part of me that says like, yes, I understand, like you're breaking down barriers. This is really cool that we have more drag king type stuff on here, but at the same token, I think even though she's 38, I still think Velma maybe came out a bit too early. Like it's the kind of thing
Yeah.
where there just wasn't as much competitive edge as you were expecting out of someone like that. As you may have remembered when we did our Meet the Queens, I was so excited for her, and she just didn't live up to that potential that we kind of saw early on.
Not hey, many queens say this about other queens. They say there are amazing queens who go on Drag Race and don't do as well as you hope they would, and they're still incredible queens when you go see them perform or do whatever. And that might just be Velma. Like I don't know if All Stars would she do any better. Like
Hmm.
it this might just be what she is in the best way possible. But
Hmm.
also Brooke Lynn comes into the workroom, and I don't know if it was production being like, please go in here so they stop arguing, and we can have a happy moment.
Well, there was a prompt, let's not forget, from PM, who I think was doing the producer's bidding. Well, guys, we have do one important thing to do, which is to vote for Miss Congeniality. Is there anyone who wants to put their name into the ring? And then Brooke Lynn says, I do, and walks in, and applause, applause,
Uh,
applause, applause. So that was very much a prompted moment. There is
yes.
producer prompting, we can confirm. And
Oh,
yes,
on any season, Canada has like the most producer prompting. They don't hide it
uh-huh.
very well. Um, but they don't. I don't remember anything significant from Brooklyn's conversation with them.
Nope, it's
But
generic advice. That's all
generic
she does. She
advice.
gives good generic advice, yeah.
And we go back to the runway. The queens are out there, plus the four queens who have changed into their lip sync outfits for potentially lip syncing for the crown. And Jaylee Time returns, Miss Congeniality from last season, which I completely forgot about.
Hmm.
To give this year's Miss Congeniality, because I think I always forget who wins Miss Congeniality on Canada, although I remember for other seasons, just not here. So the results are sponsored by Shark Beauty, which comes out on a
Hmm.
roving, like, I think a little robot thing.
Uh-huh.
Um, and the winner is who? Who is our shocked winner?
I mean, you saw it coming from a mile away just as I did. Who else could it be but Hazel? Hazel. Hazel.
I
Sure, sure, Hazel. Why not?
I was stunned. I'm assuming this was one of those like four-way split votes, and Hazel got three, and like two other queens got two, or three other queens got two, or I maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she was great behind the scenes. But I'm happy for her, and it's another Vancouver queen, so it balances things out, I guess. And she gets $10,000, so good for her. Happy for her.
Hey,
Um,
Greg, I just thought of a super fun game. I'm gonna put $20 on the line real quick. So
oh
we know
no.
Hazel, and then we know Jayleen Time. Can you name the four other miscongenialities from Canada's track race? I have it up in front of me right now. I'm telling you right now, I could not. But I'm just wondering
Was
if you
did
could.
they do one online or something for like season one? Because I don't remember them
I
doing it in this season.
it was acknowledged by the social media accounts on season one, yes. So if you don't remember or want me to just give you a freebie, by all means. But yeah,
I think season one was the queen who went home first, and I forgot her
Juice
name.
box.
Yes, Juicebox.
It
Was it
was
Juice?
Tainomi Banks.
Oh, of course, Mother. All right.
Yes.
Season two, Geometric? Like I don't. I have no.
It's okay. I tossed this on you last second. It was Suki Doll who won season two.
Oh,
I
that
feel
that
like I don't recall that
I
at
don't
all.
remember that at all.
Yeah.
Season three, Jada Hudson.
Vivian Vanderpuss.
Oh, my girl, Vivian.
My
How can I forget that?
girl!
By the way,
Exactly.
that means there's been three. Three of them have been Vancouver Queens.
Yeah.
Or Vancouver Victoria area.
Yeah.
And is there one more? Or is that
There's
it?
season four.
I thought that I don't know. Wait, who was on
It's
season four?
season
Perla?
four. It was Kitten Caboodle who won that one as
Oh,
well.
of
So,
course.
well,
Okay.
I think if
So
anything, this
if
proves
you're
that.
old or live in Vancouver, you have a shot to win. That's
Write that down right now. Do that, and if you have a V in your name, you'll probably win the season,
oh
unless
my
you're
god,
Vivian
and yes,
Vanderpuss.
exactly.
Exactly. That's the only
Um,
downside. Exactly.
Wait, this franchise has so many V queen. Like it's sort of wild.
Yeah.
I don't think any. I mean, there's
Put your
Vita
conspiracy
Von.
theories in the comments on the YouTube
Yeah,
video. I can't wait to read more. Exactly.
like in US, we've got on the current season we've got Vita Von Tess, but like
Uh-huh.
I can't think of any other V. Oh,
Vivacious.
there was Vivacious, and
Yeah.
then there was also the Venus, the original Venus, who the
Yes,
Madonna
yes, yes, yes,
impersonate.
yes.
But yeah, anyway, okay. So who cares?
We're gonna keep
So
track.
we are now ready for the big shock, the shocker of shockers. The top four come out in brunch
Looks. Like come out and looks,
lip sync
Greg.
outfits, and Evan, much to the shock of everyone listening, who are the top two queens who are going to be lip syncing for the crown?
It is finally announced that, as we probably could have predicted a while ago, Eboni La'Belle and Van Gogh are the top two queens of the season. We don't even get a. This isn't even your time, PM and Sami Landry.
Yeah.
They're just basically told that just like your journey ends here, which feels rather definitive and unfortunate. But yes, their journey ends. They don't seem horrendously shocked by this news.
No.
But yes, it is over for them. They are third and fourth place. Honor to them. I didn't think either of them were going to get this high, much less to the top four. So credit to them for real, for real. I was very pleasantly impressed. And yeah, we're down to a top two, Greg. We're down to a top
Time
two.
for the top two, and they are lip syncing to, by the way, a very expensive cue. Super graphic, ultra modern girl by Chapel Roan. Um, what did you think of this lip sync, Evan?
I thought this was a good lip sync. I overall thought this was a very good lip sync. There's again, it's a primarily spoken word lip sync, so there's a lot of like elements for character work and just like flourishes and things. And overall, I thought Ebony and Van Gogh brought a lot of great energy to it. If I'm being so real, I think Van Gogh kind of ran out of gas at the end a little bit because, listen, as Greg had pointed out, we've seen the handstand into the tumble a couple times. We see it again. It just kind of felt like she does an incredible hair whip. I could say that for sure.
Yeah.
She knows how to initiate an incredible hair whip over there. I thought Ebony proved why she won the lip sync slay-offs. I thought that she had energy. I thought she was embodying it. She found the highs and lows and the comedy in it. Like it felt like it was very good. If we're basing it off of the lip sync, my personal vote would have been for Ebony on this challenge. What did you think?
Um, I thought that both of them were doing a lot of the same moves we'd seen from both of them
Mm-hmm.
before, and we
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately have seen them lip sync a lot in just the past couple episodes.
Right.
So it would be one thing if this was like they'd lip synced at the beginning of the season and we hadn't seen it in a
Mm-hmm.
while, but it's very like cognizant. Plus, they performed to basically a lip sync of their own song earlier, and they're doing a lot of those same moves in this as well.
Mm-hmm.
So my biggest take was it was a flip 'em. Like I thought that what hurt Ebony is it's funny, sometimes a smaller queen can grab your attention if she's lip syncing against a taller, bigger queen. That's not saying Van
A
Gogh,
Georgia
you're
situation, if you will.
yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not saying Van Gogh, you're a big girl. I'm just saying you're
Mm-hmm.
taller than Van Gogh. You actually looked quite snatched
Ebony. Yes.
sorry, Ebony on this. But there were moments where I thought like I had to make myself look at Ebony and realize she was doing better, but my eye kept wanting to go back to Van Gogh. So I don't think it mattered. I don't think this
Mm-hmm.
lip sync mattered at all in how they determined who it was going to be. Now, granted, if one of them had completely like, you know, bit the dust and like was terrible and crashed in this and like slipped and whatever, maybe that would have like either made Van Gogh's win like an easy, like
If
obvious,
if
or
she lost a
Ebony.
shoe like Elvosk,
Yes, yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Like it would have just made it that much like clearer either way, but it didn't happen. But I thought it was fun, and I thought both showed that they're super talented performers when they need to be.
Hmm.
But
Yep.
up next, our queen, our reigning queen, up until this
Friend of
moment,
the pod.
friend of the pod, the Virgo queen comes out, and they're literally say to her, Virgo, how has your reign been? And I think she says, it's been good. I might be
I
paraphrasing.
I wrote down the exact quote because it was so first off, her outfit was solid.
She looked
Uh
good.
yeah, lovely dress, and then she had the Virgo constellation symbol embedded as part
Yeah.
of her wig. It was very cute. It was good. Not Isis Couture's step down look from season three that we got to see, but you know, like it's still very good. Yeah, the question, Virgo Queen, how was your reign? Quote, it was absolutely fantastic. So much fun. Slow clap, round of applause. That I am so glad that made the edit. Oh, so
Do
much
you think
detail and context, just rich. It was like a living novel. It was just like, my
do you,
God.
do you think that
Did you give
just
her a chance to
do
say
you
anything, or
think
is that really all she had? Right.
do you think that just crushed Brooklyn inside? Like, do you think she just was going, I could have picked Malika Couture or
Michaela, you could have been
Michaela
Michaela.
Couture? Um, I have to say, Virgo, I think you I wow. I respect Virgo. She had a great run. I don't know any queen for an international season who has blown it as much as Virgo Queen. Like across the board. Like, and Virgo, I think you're talented and great, and I hope that there's a second like lane for you, but social media gigs, like I can't think of one. And there are queens who got crowned in the middle of a pandemic where they had to do shit from home. So
Right.
like I it is wild to me. But anyway, we soon learn who is the winner of Canada's Drag Race season
6.
6.
Right.
Evan, please let our listeners and viewers know who has been entered into the Canadian Drag Race Hall of Fame.
In case you were somehow skipping around and didn't hear us spoil it earlier, that's right. It is Van Goth who wins. She
Yay!
wins the crown and scepter and all that other stuff. And then she goes ahead. They ask, do you have anything to say? And she makes a note how she didn't make a lot of friends this season, but she'll try and be more congenial in the future. But most importantly, she's going to the future as a winner. Applause, 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 applause. Uh,
By the way, Evan, was she more congenial in the future?
Uh, Greg, I've not seen really anything in social media outside of people mentioning our podcast in relation to her
Yeah,
win very shortly thereafter. What, fill us in. Give us the deets, Greg.
I'm just making a joke about her comments on our
Oh,
podcast,
okay.
which were valid and had nothing, weren't fair. But it's fine. And by the way, we should just let everyone know, for almost every season, usually the
Mhm.
English speaking seasons or a season where there's a queen that speaks English, we are offered an interview with the winner. Evan, I haven't seen anything in our inbox with an
It's so
author. It's
crazy.
so
Isn't
weird,
that
right?
right?
Oh.
Yeah.
I will say this, Van Gogh, you are super busy, legitimately. I'm not being
Mhm.
facetious in any way. You are no doubt planning a super busy year. You will be booked and blessed and get those Pride gigs, girl, and charge through the roof. You deserve it. But if you'd like to come on the podcast and talk to us, we are 100% down. If you want to read us to filth, we are here. But congratulations, you are a worthy winner. You killed it in your season. I might have thought Eboni would be a great winner, but you are a fine winner for Canada. You are definitely better than what Virgo has been the past year. I'm sorry, Virgo. It's just already true. But
We love you, Virgo.
I am really curious how this will go moving forward. I wish her the best, and I'm excited that Canada has done so well, and people are excited about the season because Evan. Wait, I should just ask you. Any last thoughts on Van Gogh's win?
Well, first off, worldwideteapod.bsky.social, baby. It's always open. That's all I'll say that right now. But secondly, in case they got this listening somehow to this point of it there, I can't think that our podcast is going to be any different than some of the discourse that they've seen online as well.
Yeah,
There's going to be people that absolutely love everything that you've done, that say, finally, we have someone that is actually of this mindset, of this attitude, of this talent level that's able to do what they're able to do and finally win. And other people who are going to be like, wow, she was a total bitch and I totally hated her as well. We were, as always, representing our honest opinions, and also we stand by them. That's the thing that we always do here. So the thing is that if you did ever want to reach out, by all means, please do. But most importantly, and I'll just say this before we talk about the thing you're about to talk about, is that to all our fans who've been listening to this season this whole way through, and we do know y'all have been listening, we have seen that Canada is in our top 5 most listened to countries for this
yeah,
podcast. All I can say is that thank you so much because
yes,
the support has been incredible. The comments have been amazing. Thank you everyone who's reached out to us as well. It's been an absolute joy. And again, we always love covering it. We're going to do it anyway, so it's just always a delight. But yes, Greg, I believe there might be some future Canadian plans in place
Evan.
if we
Evan,
can spill some tea.
there's a chance, there's a rumor. We might be covering another Canadian season this summer. There might be something sooner rather than later that comes. I mean, not that much sooner, but like,
Slaycation 3. You heard it here.
yeah, that's
Oh,
right,
no, sorry, not
Slaycation
that.
3.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is your time, Elliot, with two T's. No,
God.
no,
God.
uh, no. There is a rumor that they will be shooting Canada's All Drag Race All Stars, not versus the world, an All Star season before they shoot season 7, and that All Stars would appear this summer. We'll see if that's true. It might not be true. It also might be that
I'd
they
love it,
no, and by the
personally.
way, it also
Yeah.
may be that they shoot it and then they hold it till next year. So it's not a
Mhm.
guarantee that it's going to run this year. Um, and my question for you in this context, Evan, is if you were to just pick two queens from this season, since it's top of mind,
Ooh.
and I can give you my two first if you want to think about
By
it.
all means, by all means, yeah.
So obviously, I would love to see Sami Landry come back.
Hmm.
And while as much as I'd love to see Paolo Perfection, I do think they'll have future All Stars. I think Paolo
Yes.
still needs to bake a little bit. and
Hmm.
not get her Instagram account canceled for showing titties. Um, she keeps getting it canceled and blocked. I would actually, I hope she could make a jump. I would pick Maya Fox, but those
Mm.
are my two. What two are you? Would you consider for a future All Star season?
I gotta be so honest with you. Like, it's kind of her time of when she would want to come back. I do think Eboni La'Belle has what it takes. I mean, she
Mm.
did get three challenge wins, the second most of anyone in Canada's Drag Race history. But I mean, obviously, she has the talent, she has the energy, she has the wit to be able to pull it off personally. And I'll be honest too, and it's the kind of thing where I know I was just talking about it here. If she, now that she's done the format, now that she's experienced what it is, if she was willing to, I think Velma Jones could do some fascinating things. I genuinely think that if she wanted to put her mind to it, if she wanted to really try and make that happen, I think that there is something that could happen there. That's just my personal thoughts. We'd
Yeah.
have to see. But again, there's a lot of good stuff to pick up here. But also, I'm sorry, if you're going to do Canadian All Stars, you got to get Vivian Vanderpuss on there. I'm sorry, I just got to
Oh
put
my
it out there.
God.
How could you not?
I'm not
How
even
can you
religious.
not?
I'm like
I know.
praying to our Lord and Savior Carmen Farala that
Yeah.
Vivian Vanderpuss gets on All Stars,
Canadian All Stars,
and
yes.
Canadian All
Praying
Stars.
to Paolo Profession to give us a memo to the universe to
Memo
let
to
that
the
happen.
universe.
If we can make that happen, exactly.
I
Uh,
My only thing with Ebony
yes.
and is I want her to win,
Hmm.
and I don't know in this season. I think it would be really hard for her to win so soon because
Hmm.
I feel like there's going to be other queens who production might favor just a little bit for years and years and have been wanting to give the
Hmm.
chance to win. So it's possible, but I also feel like there's no way in hell Michaela Couture is not going to be on the season. And
Right.
Michaela will suck up all the energy. And I don't know if that helps Ebony.
I mean,
So,
all I could say, if we can get Perla, if you throw Kiki Ko in
oh,
the mix, I'm just saying there's other things that could
Perla.
happen. Aurora Matrix at long last.
Oh,
I don't know.
that's who deserves to win. That's
Hmm.
who I would be rooting for is Aurora. But that's
Yeah.
just,
We got thoughts, baby.
we
We
got
got thoughts over
thoughts.
here. And you can always find our thoughts on everything here at Worldwide T. And guess what? Even though Canada is over, there's still so much more happening. We're going to be taking a week off before we come right back for UK versus the World Season 3. We'll see what happens. I'm excited for it. It'll certainly be a thing that we're going to be watching together. But most importantly, everybody, thank you so much for watching, listening, leaving the ratings, leaving the reviews, leaving the comments, and most critically, we'll catch you next time. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.